Welcome to FM Corner. Today's topic, we're going to talk about something that has happened more in recent years than before. How do you handle an organizational change? Typically something like a buyout or a takeover or something like that. Starting to happen to many more people. Unfortunately, I've been on both sides of it and wanted to talk a little bit today. I was having a conversation with Mark Rashkow from Umbrella One, and we were just talking, and the subject came up. And he said, "Hey, I think this would be a great idea for FM Corner." So that's what we're going to talk about today. Again, as I said, it's far more common today for a buyout of a business to happen or a takeover or selling of something like that. Depending on what side you're on, there's important things to always remember if this happens to you, either now or in the future as it comes along. It can be really scary, can be really strange. All of a sudden, you don't know if you're the company that got bought, are you still going to have a job? Are you still going to be able to do what you're doing now? When does that happen? What are the new owners like? Things like that, you know. And and for a while you won't really know, but because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Typically, if you are on the side that is taking over another business or you're buying out another business to take over, that side you kind of know a little bit more. You will know what you're going to be doing and so on. If you're on the other side that is being bought or another company's coming in to take over and you're going to become a part of them, that's where most people worry. Either way, take your time. Don't lose it. Don't go crazy and freak out or anything like that. You don't know yet. You don't know anything. So whichever side you're on, take your time. Understand if you're on the buying side, there may be people that are really scared and so on about their job. Be aware of that and really just try to stay away from those conversations. Odds are you don't know what's going to happen to people on the other side anyway. It's above you. So, you know, don't make sure you're aware of their feelings. And if you're the one that's being bought or your company is being taken over, make sure you write down plenty of questions. Time's going to come. You're going to have a lot of questions. Write them all down. Make sure you don't forget anything and make sure that when the time is right, you get to ask all those questions to find out. Like I said, it may end up being better for you. You never know, depending on what happens. The job may be better. So why would you go crazy about it or really just put yourself under undue stress if you don't know? Usually, if you're the company that's being bought, people come in, they sit down, they talk, they explain kind of what's going on. They do it in conjunction with your leadership team. And it's usually presented as this is going to be a great thing. And it very well may be. What typically happens is it kind of stays status quo for a little while. And then over time, the new company that's coming in that did the takeover or the buyout will start implementing some changes that follow more of their philosophy. And that's not all bad. Could be good. They also could have some things that work for a while, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work, and they have to make changes, which goes against what that you may have been told when it first started. That's just natural. They had a plan. The plan didn't work. They had to make some changes to it as they go along. That's when you ask your questions and you try to find out. A key component of this is to understand this is business. This is not personal. And that's the hardest thing. You look at yourself, you look at the job you might have done and say, why would they not want me? It may not be a case of want. Maybe they want to fill the position you're filling with someone cheaper. Happens all the time. It has nothing typically to do with you personally. This is a business and someone's making business decisions. And you have to look at it that way. Is it painful? Does it hurt? Sure. But it's not personal. Personal's what gets people all messed up in it. It's just a business decision. Look at it that way. Think about what are your options. If they don't decide to keep me, what are my options? Do I want to start looking now? Do I want to wait and see how it goes? What's going to happen? I would advise you to wait a little bit and see how it starts to play out. All buyouts and all takeovers are not bad. They're not. They're different. Every single one is different, but they're not all bad. I would advise you take your time. Find out, is this a place I want to, are they going to keep me? And then is this a place I want to continue to work at under new leadership? If you do, keep working. Could be a great decision. People's lives change every time there's a takeover or a buyout. Have compassion for those people if you're on that side of the buyout or the takeout coming in. May not affect you. Your job may get better as time goes on or more responsibility, but other people may not be in that boat. So have compassion for those people. You need to buy in, attempt to try to work, see how that goes. What comes of it? The new company may bring you benefits or a better program or better opportunities that you didn't have before. Your leadership team may stay in place. You don't know. They may not know at the time. So follow it along, give it a chance, make sure you ask all the questions. Don't assume anything. And don't take for gospel every single thing that you're told when you sit down. They may have a great idea, but it may not work, so it may end up changing. It's not they lied to you, it's just this was the plan, and the plan had to have changes to it. Maybe a couple of people they planned on keeping decided to leave, and they've had to change how some things are done. Just keep that in mind, but make sure you ask your questions and be very upfront and very honest. It's a tough pill to swallow sometimes when this happens, but just keep working. Keep working. Maybe, things change. Maybe you were on an original cut list, and because of they watch the attitude in which you go to work and how you do some things, maybe that changes. Maybe it doesn't. But keep working. Keep doing your job. Keep supporting the people that you're supposed to support. Whatever happens with a takeover or a buyout or an organizational shift, change, any of that, usually takes a while. Let it play out. See what happens. Don't make rash decisions. Ask your questions. Do your job. See what happens. And if it becomes a time that, okay, this is not what I really want to do, or it has changed, or the organization's shifting, or something is not something I want to be a part of, then go start looking for another opportunity. Next opportunity may be better than the one you have. But don't freak out. Don't lose it. Ask questions. Let it go. It's a tough time. Understand that. And like I said, I've been on both sides. I've been on the side that took over, and okay, that's a whole different way of doing business. I was on the side that got sold. That's a little different, a little more scary and so on. But you play it out and see how it works. Again, this is happening more and more today as companies get older. Companies that were doing really well suddenly don't do as well. They take a buyout or they sell to someone else who comes in and wants to take it over. All those things happen, and they happen all the time. Ask your questions, write down what you want to know, find out people, the people that you trust inside your own organization, and ask them. Try to get as much information as you can, but don't make a rash decision. Let it play out. They're not all bad. That's our lesson for today on FM Corner. Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to speaking with you again next week. I'm Danny Coombs. Thank you.